In the political arena, the promises made by Keir Starmer to support vulnerable individuals starkly contrasts with the actions of his government, which appear to target essential benefits, such as personal independence payments. This disconnect doesn't go unnoticed. Both the public and critics are quick to point out the glaring contradictions that seem to surface with unsettling frequency. The backlash from within the Labour Party is immediate and palpable, highlighting the severity of Starmer's proposed cuts. Respected figures within the party voice their outrage, labeling these measures as unacceptable. Their concerns resonate deeply, drawing attention to the potential for trapping citizens in a cycle of poverty, thereby emphasizing the urgency of addressing this critical situation. Adding to the chaos, a legal challenge against Starmer's cuts emerges, revealing potential violations of disabled citizens' rights under British law. This unprecedented circumstance underscores the serious ramifications of his economic policies, sending ripples of concern through communities reliant on these essential services. Simultaneously, the government's commitment to maintaining strict fiscal rules while promising to uplift living standards creates an unsettling contradiction. This conflict in objectives becomes glaringly apparent soon after the budget is introduced, serving to undermine both the economy and public trust. The implications of such conflicting messages are profound. Starmer's approach to economic policy attracts severe criticism from respected economists, who raise alarms about its long-term viability. Observers describe the strategy as not just harmful to economic growth, but also detrimental to the very public services that many depend upon. The concern is not only for the present but for the future of sustainable progress. Moreover, the reliance on vulnerable populations to facilitate budget cuts leads to significant societal consequences, with disabled citizens often bearing the brunt of these financial measures. This grim reality raises profound ethical questions regarding the government's priorities and whether they truly represent the ideals they profess. In a scathing critique, the judge points out the glaring absence of proper impact assessments for welfare cuts, stressing the critical need for evidence-based decision-making. This violation of administrative law principles introduces serious concerns about the integrity and legitimacy of the government's processes. As tensions escalate in the courtroom, observers witness Starmer grappling with critical questions he seems ill-prepared to answer. His vague and often evasive responses raise doubts about his leadership and cast a shadow on the direction he aims to steer the party. The outrage among Labour MPs is palpable, as they express feelings of betrayal over campaign promises that pledge to protect the vulnerable. Internal messages reveal a mounting sentiment of dissent against the government's current welfare policies, suggesting a fracture within the party's unity. Illustrating the depth of this dissent, several Labour MPs openly refuse to defend the government's welfare policies, demonstrating the significant internal discord present within the party. This rebellion serves as a stark reminder of the risks that could threaten not only party unity but also its overall effectiveness in addressing pressing societal issues. Local Labour councillors echo this sentiment, vehemently condemning their own government's welfare policies. This disconnect between grassroots sentiments and leadership prompts serious concerns about the party's foundational support and its trajectory moving forward. Interestingly, the rise of Reform UK signals a shift in political allegiances among traditional Labour voters. Disillusionment with the current leadership is spurring voters to seek alternatives, which threatens to dismantle Labour's historical stronghold over the electorate. Polling data reveals a dramatic swing towards reform in areas historically dominated by Labour, mirroring a broader trend of dissatisfaction with the party's current direction and values. This shift reflects a growing unrest that may reshape the political landscape. Starmer's preoccupation with international politics increasingly comes across as a diversion from pressing domestic issues that impact everyday voters. This shift in focus alienates Labour's traditional supporters, who now crave local solutions and immediate action. In the realm of foreign affairs, Starmer's recent proposals involving military involvement in Ukraine raise eyebrows, stirring concerns regarding their potential implications for British soldiers. Critics are quick to highlight the lack of clarity surrounding these initiatives, coupled with the inherent risks involved. Moreover, the absence of parliamentary approval for military actions ignites worries about accountability and the ensuing public backlash. This situation starkly illustrates the tension that exists between defense strategies and the democratic processes that govern them. Starmer's government finds itself struggling to formulate a coherent defense policy, especially in the face of opposition from France concerning defense spending. This discord underscores serious contradictions in their approach and further complicates the UK's position in the international arena. Finally, the government's welfare reforms risk alienating working-class voters, creating a significant breach of trust that could have lasting ramifications on Labour's political landscape. As sentiments shift, there emerges a palpable search for alternatives, firmly placing parties like Reform UK in the spotlight.